Hey folks, we are not on the farm. We've been in town all day because we had lots of errands today, and one of our last errands was they had a tree giveaway. So we went by and picked up a tree, and it's a certain kind of tree, and we'll explain all that to you here in a second. So been in town all morning running errands. I've been hailed on 3 times today. The weather's been crazy today. There was a tornado on the ground out east of us, and we saw an actual storm chaser video of that. But it's supposed to calm down for a little bit now, hopefully. All the creeks are just flowing really hard. So back to the tree we picked up. We picked up a cottonwood tree. It was a group that was giving away trees here in town at the town square. So we stuck around till 2 o'clock to get our tree. So the reason we got a cottonwood tree, I'll give you the history on that. The gentleman we bought our property from, his mother was a published author. She wrote a book called South of the Cottonwood Tree. And it's a book about the Great Depression and growing up and all the hardships of growing up and living here in Nebraska back in the day. And it's a really good book. I have a signed copy of the book. Her name was Hallie Myers Nelson. And we actually have a couple copies of the book because we found one at one of the auctions locally and bought that up too. And the story goes, the reason why she called it South of the Cottonwood Tree is her and her sister, and when they grew up, the story was if you had a storm coming in, and if it was south of the cottonwood tree, you were fine. If it was north of the cottonwood tree, you were in trouble because it was going to hit you. So I'm a nostalgic kind of guy, love history. So being she lived on this farm that we now own and live on, there's no cottonwood tree there because the saying came from another ranch they lived on further south of us. So I wanted to plant a cottonwood tree on our place. And talking to the gentleman that we bought the place from, the cottonwood tree was on the west side of the property. So we're going to find a spot on the west side of the property to plant our cottonwood tree, so we can use that as our weather gauge. So if we can look at the cottonwood tree, we can tell whether we're going to get hit by the storm. Hope you think that's a cool story. I thought it was. Loved reading the book. So we're on the way home now. We got our friends coming in from Tennessee, Dave and Steph. They should be there about the time I get home. They've been driving through a little weather getting here. But we'll get home and we'll get this thing planted and see what other shenanigans we get into. We just had like a torrential rain, had a really crazy cell come through about 10 minutes ago, and just an absolute gully washer. But all that moisture will be really good for the pastures around here. We call it haymakers rain this time of year because boy, it's going to make the hay for sure. You can see there's no flooding on the road or anything. I mean, it's a gravel road. This area that we live in here in the Midwest, it sheds rain like water off a duck's back. If it had rained that much where we lived out in California, the roads would be flooded all day long and they'd be pumping stuff out. It'd be pretty gnarly, but you drive through town, they got the big storm drains and the culverts 5 minutes after a humongous rain. You can't even tell it even rained. And we've got 2 inches just overnight till right now. So quite a bit, but it's sure gonna green up these hills nice. Sun actually came out for a little bit. Dogs are enjoying getting out of the house for being inside all morning. Ruby's eating grass again. Well, this is west of the property here. So I'm thinking maybe on either side of the gate up there would be a good spot for this tree. So let's get something to dig with. And just when I was about to dig, our friends have showed up. Brandy, it's okay, they're on the list. Okay, back to planting our tree. So this is the west, and we have this gate. So I got to thinking, which side of the gate do I want to put the tree on? And then I figure if I put it on the left side of the gate, it'll kind of help cover this old cattle handling area back there that's not on our property, that I would have ripped out already, but not my place. So if I put it there, it might help kind of block some. That's our decision. Pretty small root on this thing. We've got the hole twice as wide and twice as deep as we need, like they recommend. We'll fill this in. Really nice, fertile, wet, moist soil here, so it'll give this tree a real good start. Now we got our little cottonwood tree planted, if you can see it. We got some natural mulch here too. We're going to come in and take all the weeds down though, and put in a nice layer of mulch here to keep the weeds from growing back. Dave helped me plant it.
Oh, I didn't do anything. I just sit there and watch.
Oh, you held the tree while you put the dirt in.
I held my finger on it.
We've got some more projects planned though, don't we, Dave?
Yes, we did.
So tree is done. All right, next thing we got to do is change out our colors up here. The windstorm we had last week should have pulled the flag down, but we didn't, and we've got some tearing on our flag, so it's got to be retired. We have a new one. All right, got the new colors up. We're good to go again. Now I'm going to replant some of these strawberries because some of these didn't come up. They were cheap box store strawberries. So these have volunteered out, so I'm going to take the ones that have volunteered out and move them over here to fill this bed of strawberries. So if you've never grown strawberries, they send out these tubers. See, these didn't root. Like this one didn't root, so they didn't turn green. But they'll send out this tuber, and then you'll get another plant growing from there, and they just keep spreading. We've already got a couple over here dug. We're going to dig a few more here along the border, fill this in. I'm going to put this little one right here. Got her done, Dave.
Yeah. Just mess around.
You got two more. You got that one done, right?
This one, no, that one's already there. This one here is one.
Oh, I thought you just did this. I'll put one right over here.
You want this one here?
I can get it with my hands.
All right. And you have one left.
All right, where's the last one going? Any bare spots?
How about
right on the other side of the pole?
Yeah. Right where that tag is, right there.
Yep. Sweet. I think that'll do it. That ought to feel nice. I think I'm going to take this one out and put it right here. What do you think?
You got two sitting right there. That's squeeze it in.
Sweet. Thank you, Dave. Good morning, folks. Got the coffee going. Look at the items that Dave and Steph brought us from Tennessee. We got some really cool dish towels with bees on them. They know we love bees. And then they got Kelly a kind of a little, I don't know if it's a planter or just something to put items in. It's made out of a authentic Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel. It's pretty cool. And then it's cut in half so it sits against the wall. You put stuff in it. Pretty neat. They also brought us some of their homemade sweet Thai chili sauce. They use in our recipe. They really like it, so they made it. So they brought some for us to try. I got some lamb ribs that we're going to cook with that. It's going to be phenomenal. Alright folks, we're out in the greenhouse here early this morning. We've got to transplant our tomatoes because it is time. You can see our, good morning cat. You can see our tomatoes here and here. We need to take these out of the cups. We're going to break those apart and put them in their own individual cups. But we've got to get the cups ready first. Got holes poked in all of our cups. Now we need to fill them with potting mix. I need to rehydrate this. It's getting a little dry, so we'll put some water in this. Get it really nice and moist before we fill our cups. Now I'm going to use this opportunity to show you people that are top watering their plants, like even in the ground. Let's put a bunch of water in here. We're going to do something similar to what you'd probably do if you were watering your plants. So that's a good bunch of water right there. Take your shovel. See how that's still dry underneath? You've really got to deep water your plants for the water to even get to it, because it takes a lot more than you think to get the water down into the root zone. Got our planting mix moistened, so we're going to fill all of our cups and get ready for transplanting. We're going to fill them kind of up to this bottom rim here with soil. That's all you got to do. Still got some few dry clumps in here that you try not to put those in your cups, because they'll suck the moisture right out of your mix as they rehydrate. And any big like pieces of rock or stick I'm throwing out of here. So we'll come back when we get all of these filled. It's a tedious process, but it's a nice day out here in the greenhouse. It's beautiful. I'm sure I've said it before, but there's nothing better than coming out in the greenhouse in the morning while it's still a little chill in the air outside. The morning sun gives it a little warmth in here, and it just feels amazing being out here in the greenhouse in the morning. So we got all of our cups full. Now I just take an old scrap screwdriver that I have, and I just make a hole in the middle of each cup to accommodate the roots of our transplant. And I'll do that to all of these, and then we'll start getting our plants in here. Now we're going to take our first cup of tomatoes here, and then we'll loosen this up a little bit, and then we'll pull it out of the cup like that, and then we just kind of split it in the middle and kind of unwrap it like this to expose all of our plants. So you just take yourself an individual plant like this, and then I'll even use the screwdriver to help me get these roots down in the hole like that. And then all you do, push your dirt together like that, and that's all there is to it. We'll do another one for you here. These tomato plants are super resilient. I planted one that like the roots snapped off of, and it still did just fine. And you can plant them deep. You can plant the leaves all the way down into the dirt if you want. In fact, I should have planted that one a little deeper. But you can see how many tomato plants we have here. There's just an insane amount. I planted way too much. So we'll get that real deep down in there and just kind of close the hole up. That's all you do. These tomato plants haven't like rooted together really solid to where they're still coming apart okay. If you wait too long, your roots will get so entwined that they're harder to get apart. But you can see where these are already getting kind of their second set of leaves just barely. So that's a good time to do it. So we'll come back when we got all of these done. There's a bunch here to do. The Goon Birds are out and saying hello. Anytime they see me, they start going off. But we got all of these tomatoes transplanted, and those, all 52 of those were out of 1 cup. And I still have another cup of San Marzanos. So we'll see if I plant these or not. We'll make a lot of friends if we do. And then we still have our Bonnie Best tomatoes here. But I ran out of my styrofoam cups. I got to pick some more up in town. But it just goes to show you how you can start all your tomatoes in 1 cup and just transplant them all. These out here will be able to sit in the greenhouse a little bit longer. They got a little bit more room in those big red cups, so those will kind of be my backup tomatoes back there. But super cool. Good morning's work out here. It took me about probably about an hour or so. And I'm out of coffee. And then again, we have our friends here today, so I came out early to do this because they're still kind of crawling out of bed a little bit. So we're going to go in and do some breakfast and figure out what we're going to do with the rest of our day. It looked like it was going to be a sunshiny day out here today, but looks like we got more clouds rolling in. We had those terrible tornado outbursts out east yesterday, and our thoughts and prayers are with those folks out there dealing with that. Elkhorn, Nebraska got really hit hard back there. And our friends coming in yesterday, Dave and Steph, just barely missed one of those storms coming up I-80. Kelly collected a bunch of dandelions out in the yard. What are you doing with these, babe?
I'm going to make some dandelion honey gummy bears.
Ooh, dandelion honey gummy bears. Are you doing that today?
Probably. I have to now that I picked them.
Oh, okay. How long do the, you got to like make tea out of these?
I have to pull all the greens off of them first, but then, yeah, make a tea.
How long does it take to make the tea?
Just a few minutes, but it'll take me longer to pull the dandelion, pull the green off.
Cool. Well, we'll show you the process. I came out after breakfast and I did a whole bunch more tomatoes instead of going to town to get more cups. I'm just using the 6-packs and stuff I've had left over from buying plants. You can hear that the guineas are all excited we got all this done too. And then we planted some asparagus, 36 asparagus plants. And then you can see our purple broccoli. We've got a couple peppers coming up, but they come up pretty slow. You can see the celery's coming up. So we'll be thinning that out as we go. The red cabbage, the gold cabbage. I planted some collard greens, some seeds that I got from my friend Joe Camara. From the seeds are from the Azores. And then we've got all our zucchini and watermelon, cantaloupe, and all that. So those 4 tomato cups that I had with tomatoes in them, to these 4 here, did all of these tomatoes. So let's go in and see how Kelly is doing with her dandelion gummies. I probably got a dirty nose. Kelly's got all of the green parts picked off of her dandelions. Looks like she's got 2 cups of them there. And then she's got some up here that she's drying for her dandelion salve that she makes. You don't have to pick the green stuff off of those. Those get soaked in oil. These get soaked in water, kind of making a tea. And then she's got her gummy bear molds over here all washed up and ready to go. Kelly's making her gummies. What have you got in here so far? You got your dandelion tea in there?
Yep, I quadrupled the recipe, so make sure to quadruple everything else. So it's 4 cups of dandelion tea. And then I'm adding in 1 cup of honey right now.
And you had 2 cups of dandelion that you made your 4 cups of tea with, right?
Yes, just the dandelion flowers.
And how long did you let that steep?
15 or 20 minutes.
Was it warm water? Or?
I used hot water out of our sink. You're supposed to use boiling water like with tea. But ours is so hot coming out of the faucet that it was fine.
So that's just the tea and the honey right there?
Tea and the honey, yeah.
Cool.
And then it's 3 tablespoons of gelatin per cup. So it says to add a tablespoon at a time and mix it in.
You said 1 tablespoon per cup?
1 tablespoon per cup, yeah. No, 3 tablespoons per cup.
3 tablespoons per cup.
But add 1 tablespoon at a time.
Okay. So you had 4 cups, so that's what, going to be 12 tablespoons of that stuff?
Yeah.
And I think each one of these packages is close to a tablespoon.
So your water for your tea has to be warm enough. It'll melt the honey, but not change any of the good properties in the honey. I think it says make sure it's less than 80 degrees, but once I finished straining and transferring it to this bowl, it's barely warm, so it should be fine.
You just try not to kill the good stuff in the honey, right?
Yeah, you still want the beneficial properties of the honey, as long as you're using it for the sweetener.
Kelly's filling her gummy bear molds. I think the molds come with those droppers, babe.
Yep, and they're color coordinated. Each mold has its own color dropper.
So what are the benefits supposed to be of these dandelion honey gummies?
Dandelion's an anti-inflammatory. It can also decrease blood sugar, boost immune system. There's one other thing that I just read too. I can't remember what it is.
And how long do these go in the fridge after you get them filled?
It says about 20 minutes.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
That's fast.
Long enough for the gelatin setup.
Taking some gummies out. Little gummy bears.
They're cute.
Yeah.
They're good. Tastes like honey.
Yeah. Cool deal. Well, folks, I think we're going to call it a day. You never know what we're going to be doing here on the farm. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us here on the farm. We'd love to have you.